I keep moving, that'll give your shoulders a workout, won't it? Cameraman workout, cameraman workout. What's up guys, I'm Lex and welcome to the video that you guys have requested, and that is weightlifting with a twist, beyond bodybuilding. And today we're going to take you through how I go about doing that and still maintaining my bodybuild style weight sessions whilst also encompassing that whole functional style training that comes with high intensity boxing or bag work. What we're talking about is integration of something outside of just picking a weight up and moving it from A to B. We're talking more about the cardiovascular and functional side of training that we should all be paying attention to. It's not only about looking good, it's about literally being healthier and being a better athlete. One thing I want to say to you all is never ever don't try something because you're scared of losing muscle. The myth of muscle loss through cardio has been disproven so many times. The simple approach is if you are doing more, you can eat more. If you just subsidize your diet with more calories to compensate for the extra work, no muscle will be lost. If anything, you might gain better muscle and better detail from attacking your body from so many new angles and making it work under a stress it is not used to. That's only going to benefit you in the long run. Let's take a quick look at the kit that you're going to need for the simple basic setup to be able to jump straight in and add some bag work into your routine. And all of this will come in at the current time in the sales. I found all this for under £100. So if you're going to be hitting some bags and doing some work, you're going to need to protect those hands. So first off, the gloves. The ones that I've opted for are the Venom Elites. These are 12 ounce. This is a versatile weight range to utilize, as you'll be able to take this to do some light sparring as well as work on the bag without the shoulders burning out too quickly. To go alongside your gloves, it's always a wise idea to have some hand wraps to protect those knuckles. These are the ones that I've gone for, and they're the RDX simple pull-on wraps. They're just a little quicker to use for everyday purposes, nice and cheap and cheerful. So with the hands covered, next up we need to look at your feet. These are the Lonsdale boxing boots, and they only cost £30. These are 100% my bargain of the day top tip. In 5 years, these are only the second pair of these that I've had to buy. Massive bang for your buck. Doing it with the wrong gloves and the wrong footwear is like running in the wrong footwear. It's just going to feel horrible and it's not going to allow you to progress. But here's some extra added additions that you can add on to your kit should you want to. The number one addition that I would add would be compression wear. So I'm rocking the Gymshark Flex leggings. These are around about £25 at the moment, but they retail at $32 as a standard RRP. Great thing about compression wear is it literally keeps the heat in the joints. Helping your body stay warm and keeping the joints nice and supple is vitally important. Also, with that sweat wicking material, you're also able to keep going for longer without getting uncomfortable, and being seamless, you're not going to get any nasty rashes. If you're opting for some bigger gloves with a little bit of room in there, these are also really cool, and these are some RDX gel hand wraps. The great thing about these is they offer maximum knuckle support and comfort, but they also have some really good wrist wraps on there, so it's going to help strengthen your wrists. If you have some weak wrists or you tend to tweak them on the bag, these are one of my top tips. They're pretty cheap and cheerful and easily available. This is a bit of a niche one, and some of you might not even know that it exists, and that is the patella strap. Actually really easily able to get hold of. They're available pretty much anywhere online. They're very cheap, but what they do is they offer stabilization to the knees. So if you have any issues with like sore knees and things like that from doing functional movements, these offer some real support for lateral and dynamic movements, and they can also be used on your weight training days to help support the knees. Last but not least, this is one that isn't really designed for the bag work, but a lot of you ask me when I use them, and they're good just to have in your gym bag, and that is some Bluetooth Sony headphones. They're one of the best ones that I've used so far. They're around about £50, so you can probably pick them up cheaper now. They've been in my gym bag for well over a year now. They take a kick in and keep on ticking. So today we're going to be looking at a complete workout of heavy and light bag work plus arms and back. Let's talk about the basics of how I go about this. Think about what you would do if you were going to do cutting, or you were just trying to get a little bit of weight off at the gym, or maybe it's just part of your routine as a warm-up. You do cardio before your weights. This is no different. This is just more like a functional cardio. Yes, it's going to test you, but obviously you're going to only push it to the level of your ability, and then how hard you go with it is completely up to you. Today we're going to cover two different styles of functional work that I utilize using two different bags. We're going to be using a heavy bag, and we're going to be using one of these lighter hanging bags. Now, if you don't have one of these, which some gyms don't have, what they might have is one like this. A long bag, a big bag, but this is not a heavy bag. This is quite soft. it doesn't hurt to kick it, and it has a lot of swing and movement in it. Whereas the heavier bags tend to sit a lot more still, and when you land against them, they don't tend to budge. So you have to be a little bit more careful with the heavy bags than you do on the lighter bags, because they're going to offer a lot more resistance on impact. Now before we start, I want to say this isn't a boxing video. I'm not a professional boxer. I have studied and fought in MMA, but I come from a mixture of everything. Should you want to do boxing specifically or Thai boxing specifically, I would recommend going to a class and learning the specific methodologies for those disciplines. But here all we want is energy, technique that is going to reduce your risk of injury and maximize your potential gains from the work that you are putting in. So if you have any keyboard concerns, you can shine them up real nice, turn them sideways, and stick them straight up your candy ass.
If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing the bag work. I'm going to be doing a full routine on that. I'm going to do my 8 3-minute rounds, 30 seconds rest. Then I'm going to go in and do back with superset arms. Now, I wouldn't be training shoulders on the same day that I do bag. You should find that your energy levels for the weights, they're short term. The bag work, that's more going into the long-term energy stores. So we're working cardiovascular, and then we should be able to sit, recover, maybe bring a snack in, bring some fast-acting carbs, and then you'll be able to go straight into your weights, and you will be shocked at how good you still are at being able to get through some high-volume weight training. What if you're powerlifting? If you're powerlifting, obviously that is a very stringent routine and program you have to be set to. So come in and do your numbers first. Get those heavy lifts out of the way. It's a short-term energy supply. It's a lot of effort, but it is short-term. You will find once you've hit your numbers and done that workout, if you can sit, take a break, you'll then be able to come in and do the bag work afterwards. Like any cardiovascular workout, it doesn't matter really when you do it, as long as you're getting it in, you're still going to get the benefits from it. You just want to maximize the structure that allows you to work at your best. So powerlifters I would advise after, but if you're doing bodybuilding, isolation work, higher volume work, then we're definitely able to get this bag work in prior to lifting the weights. It's really simple. All you need is a little app called Round Timer. Literally, it's just called Round Timer. Go on the App Store and search it, you'll find it. Round Timer. On here, it allows you to set your rest times, your round time, and the number of rounds that you want to do. I've built myself up to doing 8 3-minute rounds, so that's 3 minutes of work and then 30 seconds rest between rounds. That's around about 30 minutes total time, 24 minutes working time. I would say to start with 3-minute rounds with 1 minute's rest. Then reduce the rest down and keep the round times the same. So with the round time sorted out, the next thing to look at is the style of work on the bags. We're going to take a look at the heavy bag first. Heavy bag is anything that when you hit it offers a lot of resistance. They're usually pretty wide. On the thinner bags, you're able to slip around the sides of the bag and come up from different angles, which is why on the heavy bag what we want to work on is 1-2 power shots. And then when we move on to the other bag, which is the lighter bag, we're going to concentrate more on speed and constant movement. Now we're just going to cover a little bit of quick technique on here, just to make sure that you guys have a good starting point and foundation. There is another video on my channel more dedicated to specific technique, so I'll link that in the description below. Make sure to check that out, and it'll cover a little bit more of just specific bag work. So all I'm going to cover today is just a couple of quick things that are very important. Whenever you're on the bag, whenever you're punching, what we want to maintain is a good rotation with the body. So when you're hitting the bag, you want to be a decent distance away. A lot of people have a tendency to be very close to the bag, and they end up throwing short punches here and really stunted movements. One of the jobs you're going to have to do is to make sure that you're almost just a little bit under arm's length away from the bag at most times. Now, by nature, you're going to come in during some of the combinations, and that's at the point where you're just going to finish the combination. If you're close in, then take a step back out and then reset back to that start position. When you throw a punch, whether it's a straight shot or a hook, it needs to come from the hips. What we're looking for is planted feet, and we're going to rotate the punch through, a lot like a golf swing. As the left hand comes forward, the hips rotate, shoulders roll back, and the leading arm will come through, and that pops the jab. And now the body's set up for a right hand to come through, at which point the left hand returns, and that lands, this comes back to protect the head. So we're getting a nice rotation here. We're working back, triceps, and our core and abs. Keep your feet planted. Try not to have happy feet. The power comes from driving through. So if you're jumping up and down whilst throwing the punch, number one, you're increasing the risk of injury. Number two, you're not going to maximize your balance or punch power. Not the end of the world, but a massive habit that you want to get out of your system as quickly as possible is what we call windmilling. And that's the tendency of, and this is going to be a natural tendency, is to throw a punch, and then once it's landed, is to drop it and bring it back down by the waist. and then bring it back up before using it again. We want to start returning the hand to where it came from. So when we throw the punch, once it's landed and the other one goes, we bring that back to the face and the other punch goes out. The best thing to do with this is imagine that you're wearing a pair of mittens that have a string connecting one glove to the other. Thus, if I push one out, the other one is pulled in. So you imagine that string pulls on one as the other leads. So I think the final tip that we'll go through today on this is just where to hit on the bag. We want to start getting in the habit of throwing our punches at head height. So what you want to do is pick a point on the bag and continually aim to kind of hit at that level. As people get tired, they tend to punch around about the chest area because obviously they're dropping the shoulders and the hands are coming down. Make sure that you're punching out at face height and pick a target on the bag to keep striking at. If you want to change levels and throw from head to the body, what we want to be looking to do is throw to the head and then drop the entire body at the knees. You're going to drop the knees down to then throw at that body level. What I don't want to be doing is throwing a punch at the head and then throwing the body shot from a full upright standing position and throwing down here. I mean, obviously in a fight that's completely possible and completely utilizable, but what we want to maximize is level changing. We're trying to develop good habits here, and a lot of time what we're going to do is we're going to over exaggerate movements to ingrain them into our own memory and get that motor pathway working. So you go jab, drop, body, up, or you could go jab, body, roll, and then back up to the top. And it's often quite a nice, simple way to make it flow is to do 2 shots on the same side. So if I'm going to hook to the left body, once I've hooked to the left body, I can then come back up and hook to the head. But obviously once you get more comfortable, start throwing it around, mixing up combinations, high, low, high. You can even start at the body and then come back up. So now a quick look at how to use the heavy bag compared to the hanging or lighter bags. So heavy bag, here we're looking at combinations with the odd power punches thrown in there. What a lot of people have a problem with doing is they come on the heavy bag and they just start swinging for the fences. That's not what it's about. We want to build up combinations, we want to build up technique, and we want to throw a heavy shot in every now and again, because the heavier shots are obviously going to be more taxing, especially when we start adding in kicks and things like that. Today we're just going to concentrate on punches and we'll move on to kicks in later videos. But for this, simple combinations, and I'll go through 3 of them now. Combination 1, jab, jab, straight right. Combination 2, left hook, straight right, left hook, straight right. Combination 3, jab, straight right, change levels, left body, left head, straight right. Try to remain relaxed. You're not going to be able to do this straight off the bat, but if you keep telling yourself to do it over time, you will get better. I can either tear it in with anger and wrath, and it looks good, it sounds good, but whew, takes the breath out of you because it's tensing up all the muscles. What we want to do is try and get relaxed and only throw with momentum and power rather than kind of tensed up muscular anger and power. Rolling the hips through every punch, and then we can generate a very similar power but without all that muscle tension and excess fatigue. And here you'll see no rah, no but, same power, a lot less energy. So to keep it nice and varied, using the hanging bag, or if you don't have one of these, the lighter bag, take all the power out and go much more for longer combinations, combination build-ups, speed and movement. We're looking to be constantly moving around the bag, changing levels, and then throwing some nice light combinations all the time, thinking about what you're doing before you do it. So we can roll combinations from one into the other. You've got combination 1, 2, and 3 for on the main bag. For on this bag, combinations 1 and 2 will flow very well. Combination 1, jab, jab, throw, will then flow into combination 2 of left, right, left. It's going to help build up that conditioning for your shoulders. It's going to make you breathe. And also from coming from the heavy bag to the hanging bag, which is a lighter work, you're going to be able to let those muscles recover in terms of the short-term energy you've used for the power shots. So then when you go back to the heavy bag from this bag, you're going to be able to reintroduce that power and build yourself up over time. So remember, light heavy bag, constantly just moving. Every time the bag swings back at you, throw a jab out, just keep it moving. Think about rotation and distance on the bag. That's what's going to be important here. Hands up, make those shoulders work, constantly moving, punch outs. These are all little things that you can utilize. Just keep yourself moving. This one is going to be a mental game. So if you catch yourself planting and not throwing, get in the habit of saying in your head, move, move, move. Now we've covered the bag working, just the basics. Obviously, if there's anything I've missed there, let me know in the comment section. I'll make sure to cover it in another video. So for this point, we've covered enough of the boxing. It's just time to show you what I've talked about and put it to work. sit down. It's a mental thing. You stand up when you don't want to, you walk when you don't want to. So you're conditioning yourself to not be weak-minded, not to sit, always be moving. So we get used to that feeling of tired and being ready to go again. Whew. That's 8 3-minute rounds done, 30 seconds rest. I used to do 3 minutes, 1 minute rest. So I'm making it work harder. I put the rounds up first, took it to 8 rounds, then I brought that rest time down. One thing I do want to say that I didn't cover before was a little bit on body posture, and this is a personal one to me. What I'm always doing is I'm keeping my elbows tucked in and I'm concentrating on keeping a flat stomach by engaging my glutes as I move. So as I'm moving, I'm thinking about my core and glutes all the time and throwing with rotation from the core but with activated abs and glutes. So a little hint there if you do have a lazy arch in that back. So about 3 minutes after finishing, yeah? Yep. Something like that. Still breathing a little heavy, but I'm starting to calm now. I need to gather myself, the body's beginning to recoup, the burning is dissipating, and I feel like now I'm ready to go. Short-term energy-wise, I have no worries. I'm gonna go straight in now. I'm gonna start with the back. I'm gonna start with the compound movements, the bigger back muscle. Then I'll superset into arms, and that means I'm gonna do a bicep followed by a tricep. Now, I train high volume, high frequency, which means I train everything twice a week. So I'm only going to be doing 2 exercises per body group, but 5 sets per exercise, and that happens twice a week. So overall you end up with those 4 exercises that some people put into back days, arm days, etc. But you're splitting it over 2 days during the week. That's double the stimulation. It's half the risk of screwing your joints up and overworking the joints and aggravating any injuries. In any system, the higher frequency, constant stimulation is a better option. It reduces risk of injury and improves your gains. So if you are doing single days of back, chest, arms, whatever, split the workout in half, spread it over 2 days, do 3 body parts in 1 day. So now I'm feeling nice and recovered already. It's 5 minutes in. During the first 1 to 3 rounds of those boxing, you are gonna feel like you're dying, but trust me, you'll get a second wind if you just push through. The body is stronger than you think. It's all about that mental game. So now we're moving straight in. We're gonna be doing back, seated rows, followed by a lat pull down with the horseshoe handle. And remember, I'm doing 5 sets. I'm doing 8 to 12 rep range, then I'm going to move it into superset arms, and we're going to be doing some hammer curl variations, some overhand variations, cables and dumbbells. Let's go. Done. I will always do the bigger body part, that compound movement work on its own as a standard kind of bodybuilding style. So that's set, rest, moving from one exercise to completion to another exercise to completion. But now we're going to change that up, moving to smaller muscle groups on the arms, the biceps and the triceps. So here I'm going to superset, moving from one muscle group to another on opposite sides of the arm. While one is working, the other is resting. So there's no excuse for long rest times here. I'm trying to improve my cardio, I'm trying to improve my fitness. I also don't want to be in the gym for hours at a time. So coming in now doing the supersets also helps compact that workout time. So I'm going to be looking to do a bicep exercise followed straight away by a tricep exercise. 5 sets, 8 to 12 reps, focusing on isolation, no excessive movement, squeezing, light to medium weight. Let's work. Right, so there we go, in whilst the gym is shutting. So we killed that, plus recording, plus explanations, in around about an hour and a half. I would aim to do that entire workout in hour, 15 minutes. That would be my goal, with those supersets helping bring that time down. I hope this has kind of broken it down a little bit for you. This is as simple as I can make it without making this video too long. So if there are any specifics you want me to go into, let me know in the comment section below. In fact, if you've made it this far into the video, In the comment section below, give me a skadoosh and let me know you made it this far. We will cover any other questions that you've got in there. I'll do my best to answer everything in the comment section. Guys, if you have any hints or tips, if you're a boxer and you've been doing it for years and there's little things that you can help with, like one of you guys commented before when I was doing the bag work to tuck the elbows in, and I've actually been mentally doing that and it does feel way better. Remember to always think about that posture through the boxing, making that core work, rotations, making sure to not slap through your punches, slow things down, steady away, work on technique, bring that power in only when you feel it's nice and fluid. Don't try and rush these things. What we're looking at here is work ethic and just pushing the boundaries. In terms of the weights, you've seen what we got through. Everything was 5 sets, 8 to 12 reps, and on the supersets we were moving, minimum rest through everything. We're trying to push, we're trying to be athletic, we're trying to be fitter, we're trying to be better. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, make sure to comment, like, and share as always. Hit that notification bell if you haven't already. I've been Lex. This has been Beyond Bodybuilding. Let's call it that, Beyond Bodybuilding. I'll catch you in the next video. Until then, Lex and Jay, we out.